A storm once swept across the Aegean thousands of years ago, tearing through waves that had carried merchants, warriors, and kings. Yet surviving ancient sailors used to whisper that there was one power no ocean could conquer, a civilization so advanced, so wealthy, and so mysterious that their influence stretched across every horizon. And today, many people don't even know their name. Imagine an empire that ruled the sea long before the Spartans sharpened their first spear, or Athens built its first marble temple. Who were these forgotten masters of maritime power? And what happened to them? They were the Minoans, the world's first true thalassocracy, lords of the sea. Their story begins on the island of Crete, where a civilization emerged around 3000 BCE that would change everything. While much of Europe was still living in simple tribal communities, the Minoans built vast palace complexes filled with colorful frescoes, indoor plumbing, and intricate administrative systems. And perhaps the most astonishing part, they created all of this without building a single city wall. Why? Because they controlled the seas so completely that they believed no one would dare attack them. Picture the palace of Knossos 5 stories high, over 1,000 rooms, vibrant murals of blue dolphins and leaping bull athletes. Archaeologists once joked that it looked like an ancient hotel where every room was fully booked by genius craftsmen, traders, and aristocrats. But it wasn't just beautiful. It was the nerve center of an empire powered by trade. Minoan ships carried bronze, wine, olive oil, and precious art to Egypt, the Near East, and the islands scattered like jewels across the Mediterranean. And here is something fascinating. The Minoans may have invented something like the modern concept of branding. Their pottery styles were so distinct that traders from thousands of miles away could instantly recognize a Minoan product. Can you imagine being so iconic that your art becomes your passport? But the Minoans weren't just merchants. They were engineers and innovators. They developed the earliest forms of writing in Europe known as Linear A. To this day, no one can read it. Then there's the bull leaping ritual. This was not a myth, this was real. Unlike Roman gladiator shows or Greek sacrifices, Minoan culture seems strangely peaceful. No scenes of violent battles appear in their art. Instead, we find acrobatics over bulls, breathtaking dances, and imagery tied to nature and the divine feminine. Some scholars even argue that the Minoans may have been one of the few ancient societies where women held significant power. Priestesses appear frequently in their art, wearing elaborate clothing and performing sacred rituals. A society led in large part by women thousands of years before modern movements imagined it. But this peaceful empire hid a darker mystery. Around 1600 BCE, the island of modern-day Santorini erupted in one of the most violent volcanic explosions in human history. It sent shockwaves across the sea, generated massive tsunamis, and covered the sky in ash. Some entire islands vanished beneath the waves, and the Minoans were directly in its path. For centuries, historians argued whether this eruption caused the collapse of the Minoan civilization. Imagine the terror. Trading fleets shattered, harbors drowned, crops ruined, palaces cracked open like eggshells. Was this the disaster that wiped out the empire? Or was the real enemy far more human? Because right after the eruption, the Mycenaeans from mainland Greece arrived. Warriors known from Homer's epics, aggressive, armed, hungry for power. They took over Minoan cities, adopted Minoan art styles, even absorbed their writing system and turned it into something new. Linear B, and just like that, the world's first great maritime empire became a ghost woven into Greek culture. Here's the twist most people never hear. The Minoans didn't just vanish. They were absorbed. Their knowledge shaped Greek religion, architecture, and trade. Many myths like King Minos, the Minotaur, and the labyrinth likely began as distant memories of real Minoan rituals and architecture. When you look at Greek civilization, you're seeing Minoan fingerprints everywhere. Even today, the Minoans remain one of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world. An advanced civilization with plumbing before Rome, palaces before Egypt's new kingdom, and global trade networks before Athens even existed. Yet we still don't know what language they spoke, what they called themselves, or how they organized their society. Were they peaceful idealists who mastered the sea through diplomacy? Or were they shrewd political strategists whose influence was hidden behind beauty and art? And here's a question for you. How does a civilization so wealthy, so advanced, so culturally dominant disappear almost overnight? What do you think happened to the Minoans? Natural disaster? Invasion? Or something we haven't discovered yet? Let me know in the comments. I genuinely want to hear your theories. Before you go, remember, every ancient empire has a story, but the Minoans left behind a mystery. And mysteries deserve explorers like you. If you love uncovering lost civilizations, secret histories, and the hidden forces that shaped our world, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. There are countless secrets waiting to be rediscovered. Let's explore history together.